Where's the love? Where's the love? It's right here in the heart of the city. I'm Silas Grant, and I got my man with me, Tony Lewis. What's up?
What's up, Joe?
What's going on?
Man, I'm outstanding, man. What's up with you?
I can't complain, man.
Oh no,
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. You know.
big homecoming week for y'all.
Yeah, man.
Hampton University.
Yeah, man.
What was it? Hampton Institute? What was it?
You know, there was a conversation on Facebook. There's a Hampton page, and they were saying how, like, for some reason, people think that that's an insult, right? They was like, yeah, there's plenty of institutes, like,
Right.
What's MIT's an institute and a few others, right?
Sure.
But I think they were talking specifically about the jokes that Howard grads make about it. Because
yeah.
the whole thing is, like, Hampton was an institute until, like, maybe, like, 81?
Right. Okay.
Something like that.
So I'm not okay. I knew that was
something like
in
that.
my mind.
Yeah, somebody made a joke about Howard. You know, Howard's original name was not Howard University. It was like something normal. Anyway, I can't remember the joke, but somebody in the comments was like, "Yeah, and they've been normal ever since."
Oh yeah, that's fish. I'm glad I ain't in that war words. You know,
they be a little more on it than we be.
Oh, is that what it is? Why? Oh, y'all fly above.
Just fly above all that.
Yeah,
you know how that goes.
Yeah, no question.
You know, I mean, it wouldn't even be no discussion if they weren't threatened by.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it wouldn't be no.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be nothing. Yeah. Shout out to all the Hampton University.
Yeah.
I know a few good people. I mean, of course, aside from you like the, you know what I'm saying? Definitely the mascot for Hampton, you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
You got your Ragged Fly, new merch, Hampton merch.
Bros know bros, man.
I know you loaded up.
Yeah, bros know the bros,
yeah,
man.
for sure.
Yeah, man. But no, it's a good thing, man. I love this time of year. Just even watching other people
all the school,
go back, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a reminder of the power that we have in our community, and the excellence in the community that we have, man. And also, we always say it, but it's worth saying again. That experience is not a monolithic experience. It's different at every campus, right? It's their own little special sort of thing. And it's just good to see people that are able. We talked a few weeks ago about taking trips, right? Like the Disney World thing, but the ability to get away and go and reconvene with your people, man, that's you can't take that for granted.
Nah, no doubt. And I know that, of course, so many all alums, right, from all the different universities. I'm just be speaking about Hampton specifically. You know what I'm saying? Like, depending on what people have going on in their lives at that moment, you know what I'm saying, the other piece to your idea, or whatever the case may be, might be there, because there's so much greatness coming out of there. So many people doing so many different things. Matter of fact, my man Doyan was telling me that he bumped into your man, dang, what's his name, man? It'll come to me.
Oh, he told me. Samir told me.
Yeah, Samir. Yeah, shout out to Samir too.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So just stuff like that, you know what I mean? I'm like, I was like, yeah, that's Silas, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I always admire that about y'all, your friend circle, how y'all all y'all doing y'all thing. And I done met a lot of good brothers like Samir, you know what I'm saying, Mike, Ed. Even though I met Ed, you know what I'm saying, before, aside from you, but still, y'all crew, Siraj, all the good Hampton men, you know what I'm saying?
And so we, not them in particular, but some other guys I know from different cities. On Friday, we're going to go to a school in the Hampton area with some kids that are like adjudicated. We're going to do a session with them.
Oh, that's hard.
On
that's
Friday.
All right.
So we haven't really publicized that we want to do this as a pilot the first time and then make it an ongoing thing and kind of broadcast it a little more. Because, I think about, so I live within walking distance of Howard, and so did you, right?
Right.
As far as growing up. And I always felt like Howard was like miles and miles and miles away.
Facts.
Right? And, we could hear the band practicing when we would play football on our field, right? Around my way. That's how close we were to Howard. But it felt like it was like miles and miles away. And so I just was talking to a couple of my guys from different cities like, yo, we come and we convene down here at least once a year, and we don't never do enough to touch the kids, right? Give them an opportunity to see Hampton. They might be right over the bridge, downtown Hampton, or, on the other side of town. But, like, let's show them. Like, we care about them. We may not even know them, right? But, like, Hampton changed our lives for the better.
Yeah, so we owe that.
We owe that to them. So we're gonna do this workshop with the kids on Friday, and get that squared away. And then I think next year we're gonna really build it out with like all the homies just come in and just take the school over and do that for that day before we get into all the festivities.
That's all right.
That's good stuff. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Along those lines, man, I wanted to bring a conversation to this platform that I had offline, and there was a lively discussion on a couple of platforms, Facebook and Instagram in particular, along those lines of like community, tribe, that sort of thing. I'm just gonna ask you a question and see if you can give me an answer, right? How many married couples do you know they currently married between the age of 40 and 50 that graduated from DC public schools, where both the husband and wife or the two partners both went to DCPS?
Dang, that's crazy.
I posed it on.
You say 40 and 50, right?
40 to 50. So ideally, they would have came out of high school between, like, let's say they would have came out between
88 and 98, or
probably like 91 to 01, something like that.
91 to 01, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
91 to 01.
I posted online on Friday.
See, I don't know. I just think I don't know. I don't know a rack of people married in general.
Yeah, that was a real barrier too.
But
yeah.
I think that also is telling from my perspective, because most people that I do know went to DCPS. I know one. So I got Mika and Wee.
Okay.
Mika like a god sister to me. You know what I'm saying? And she married Wee. His name Dante. We call him Wee around 5th. They been together since like high school. You know what I'm saying? They've been together like a long time, bro. And they've been married a significant time too. My godson is dead. Their oldest son is my godson. So they come to mind, like, you know what I mean, off the break, right? They both went to Dunbar.
And graduated.
All right. Then you got Jason and Kirby.
Yep. Jason went to East.
Jason went to East and Kirby went to Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
You shot after that. I'm
trying to think of like
let me
some older people, right, that might be closer to 50. But I can't. And I'm sure it's a couple that I know that's just not coming to me. But bro, for real, I don't.
Yeah. It's a question that.
That's wicked.
Let me go back to the origin of the question, right? This was several months ago.
Dang.
I was on a walk on a Saturday morning, and early, like 6 in the morning. And when I do the longer walks on weekends, normally like walk uptown. And I was like on Arkansas Avenue near Roosevelt, kind of like Delafield, Crittenden area, right? And walking up the hill towards Highlands. And I'm seeing all these beautiful detached homes, these big homes that I know at some point black people occupied, right?
No question.
And sometimes when I walk up that way, I will see some of the older faces I remember from back in the day when I would be up that way. It is rare. And this morning when I was walking, I was like, dang, man, I wonder what happened to all these families. I wonder what happened to the properties, right? I mean, we know they're now turned over, but what happened, right? I want to know the story.
Right.
And I started thinking, like, I wonder if any kids up here got married to each other. It's just a random thought. Yeah. And then I said to myself, all right, I'm 44. The time I was 43. I'm 44. All right. In the 40s, right? Like, I just want to know, how many people do I know that's married in their 40s and they both came out of DCPS? Now, here's why I set the criteria the way I did, all right? I'm going to break down the whole thing. Yeah. I did the 40s because I felt like that was enough time to have longevity in a marriage, right? So that if you got married at 30, you probably like 12, 13, 15 years in. Or if you got married like your people's right out of high school, you had 25, right?
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
So if I dropped it at 30, you might be married 2 years. We can't guarantee that's going to be.
You tell me, yeah, because your point is like marriage that establishes like
yeah, it's like a real established thing, like we in it.
But I'm just thinking for real, like even married at any point. And I mean, I would even think, nationally, I just saw something somewhere where like marriage is, down for our age group. if you will. A lot of people ain't never been married. That's in their 40s, right, or whatever. But, bruh, when you talk about both people used to graduate in DCPS.
Now, go ahead. I'm gonna tell you why I did that too.
No, go ahead.
So to further, break down why I put that criteria in place, the 40s was about, really establishing longevity in this committed relationship, right? The DCPS thing was like, okay, our generation in particular, you and I, that was the generation where if your parents had any sort of leverage or any sort of privilege, any leverage or privilege, chances are they was taking a chance of taking you to an out-of-boundary school or a private school.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
If
or
they
just
had
taking you to Maryland.
Or taking you to Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Private, Maryland, or they was at least doing out-of-boundary. I remember being in 1994, my name was called at McKinley, but I got sent to Coolidge. And my friends were like, yo, they called your name at McKinley today. And my mother was like, there's no way you going to McKinley.
Yeah, she ain't letting you go to
You ain't going to Tech.
It's like I wasn't going to Dunbar.
Yeah. So even in that, with the DCPS thing, I let it slide. I could have went real serious about neighborhood schools and all that. But there's a certain, I think in our age bracket, those of us born in the late 70s, that wave of parents.
Wait, whoa. I was born in 80, bro.
You was born in 80,
Just
that's
for the
right,
record.
my fault.
Nah, don't worry about it. It's all
good.
Boy, keep
But
going, though.
We let you say it.
Yeah, I'm an 80s baby. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Come out there 80s,
right.
man. Started with me, 1980. But go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. But yeah.
In that little period between, like, let's just say 76 and like 81, those parents, the group that we've kind of grown and matured with into our 40s that we know, the ones that are still on the up and up, the ones that are still out and about, the ones you bump into on 8th Street, Sandlot, the baseball game, football games, out on the town, that's really doing well for themselves. If you really look at it, right, they, in some way or another, like, they didn't do the regular neighborhood school thing all the way through.
Yeah, or just didn't come from the regular neighborhood.
That too.
And that ain't no shot at nobody.
Yeah, just what it is.
It really is a testament to the fact of just how many people in our era did not reach their potential.
Yeah.
That's a fact, right? I mean, so part of that is even finding a partner and starting a family and establishing, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people just did not get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Premature death, habits, you know what I'm saying? Or addiction or whatever, you know what I mean? Mass incarceration. We talk about a lot of these like topics, but for real, like what you getting at or what you talking about is really a representation of those things and how they really impacted people and became a barrier to the nuclear family, right? And a lot of us also who grew up in that era, our parents weren't married. Yeah. Right? I think that's causal in some ways. Like the breakdown of the nuclear family in Africa, particularly in the poor African American community, has been happening for a few generations. But when it get to ours, just my opinion is not just based on not to like feed into any stereotypes or no tropes, but when you and there's a lot, some people say it was even some systematic stuff that caused people that thought it was more advantageous for the family or quote unquote for the kids or for the woman for her not to get married because that would stop her from receiving some of the benefits and things of that nature, right? So I get all that, but ultimately what it did is create a culture in a lot of these poor communities where people weren't married. It's just not what you did. And so like anything, like we always talk about anything else, if you don't see it, you don't do it. And then you mix the crack epidemic into all of that. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's really because I mean to on the surface it's like, oh, that's just a trivial question. I was just like, but no, I think that says a lot, bro.
Yeah, because so it's funny, right? And at some point I'm gonna pull out my phone and read some of the comments because it got lively on Facebook and Instagram. Like
that's definitely a Facebook question, though. I know that Facebook crew.
Yeah, that Facebook crew went crazy
already. You know?
But even on Instagram, right? I had a couple of people be like, "Man, if you just said WCAC, the Catholic schools, I could name a whole bunch of them, right?" And it's funny because now my daughter goes to a private school. It's not like some super elite school, but we pay for it, right? It's a private school. And I noticed in that environment, I always went to public school, so I don't know that experience outside of college. My college is private, but I never even processed that in that way, right? But from primary, I never went to a private school, so I don't understand like the cultural experience, right?
Right.
But me experiencing now as a parent, I see how the families are more involved in the experience, and they're bonding, and I can see why if you went to McNamara or Carroll or St. John's, why building family is probably more of a priority. Yeah. Because like you said, you've seen it, right? Even if your nuclear family was not in place, you were surrounded by it and like you were engulfed by it.
Even the school itself acts in a family manner. You understand what I'm saying? Like the framework for stability, especially from the lens of the people that run these different schools and institutions, but it's really based on the family structure. You understand what I'm saying? I think that is something that really people don't think about enough. It's sort of like the westernized ideal of the nuclear family, mom, dad, kids type of thing. There is something that my mind is really racing when you think about sort of the like significant sort of implications of that. Yes. Right? And that maybe even down again, when you have, especially in public school in our time, right? And what the children that were going through in their communities and probably in their households, like not to generalize, but when you think about infant mortality, when you think about teenage pregnancy, when you think about addiction, when you think about the murder rate, when you think about the incarceration rates at that time, right? Even that, just think about how many, when you start talking about viable partners for black women in D.C., girls at that time, right?
Yeah.
Marriage. Who they gonna marry?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's a real thing, and that didn't stop them from procreating, right? And then they had children. Man, I'm just really sitting here thinking about
I'm trying to
marriage. Like, who was married? You know what I mean? Like, my old Al was married. I don't even think about like my immediate first cousins, who were Boo and Monica, Kim, my cousin Kim, Kim and Alice. So their parents got married.
Oh, okay.
Or I'm thinking even about, I don't know if they were married when Kim came. I think they got married after Kim, but I don't know. I was a baby, so I don't know. But I'm thinking about that. All my other cousins, they parents wasn't married. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's really deep to me. That's really deep to me, bro. That's really deep in that way. Just marriage in general. And so the likelihood, though, I'm saying, this is what I was getting at. The likelihood that, I think the likelihood is heightened that 2 DCPS students would be poured into kids coming from a private school, right? We can assume that, you know what I mean? Especially saying both. And it takes a level of stability, some kind of stability, even if it's stability enough for you to get a scholarship. But it takes some stability to go to a private school. That's a sign of some level of stability in the household.
Or just, like I said,
unless you are, I guess some athlete or something like that.
Sometimes it's not financial. It's like I had the information. Because remember back in the day, all right, so now with me having a kid, we played a lottery every year, right? So we open to a public school, but we played a lottery trying to figure out which one we want to go to, right? And I don't recall it being a lottery back in the day. It was a general out-of-boundary application.
Right. But I was talking about private school.
Yeah. But my point is, like, what I'm getting at, in addition to that, that if you couldn't afford private, but you had the wherewithal that this neighborhood school is not going to cut it.
Right. You had
an out of boundary option.
Right. And the people that pursued that option had to have some level of stability, even to find the information to do that, right? So we saying the same thing. I agree, but I even like look, even for me to go to Gonzaga, right? Bonnie wrote the archdiocese. We couldn't afford, our mother was, you know what I'm saying, wasn't really, you know what I mean, that wasn't a logical decision. We couldn't afford it. I had no business going. I mean, it was logical in the fact that it was a good school and blah, blah, blah. We couldn't afford for me to go there, you know what I'm saying? But my aunt wrote the archdiocese. She had the ability to do that. My homies ain't had nobody in their family to do that. You feel what I'm saying? So that was my aunt had to, work for the Department of Agriculture, you know what I'm saying? That was a level of stability in my household that most didn't have in that time. I know that for a fact, right? So even to get you, instead of going to Cook, John F. Cook, that was elementary, or Walker Jones, or Sky Montgomery. We had 3 elementaries around our way that I know that really, you know what I'm saying? You think about that. You got 3 Jones in our neighborhood at that time. And I'm saying from the lens, ain't nobody want their young in the.
I'm about to say, you go in that Scott Montgomery, you'd have been in the feds already.
Any Cook, that Walker Jones or Scott Montgomery, I was done. It's a wrap. And if I would have went to Terrell or Shaw.
Yeah.
If I would have went to Dunbar, I wouldn't have made. I almost ain't make it not going to Dunbar based on what was going on in Dunbar. Just think about that, right? So I know that. So for somebody to go in that track in the time that we went to school, ain't nobody. I ain't know that. I would love to know how many even people in there had a married, like their parents were married. That's what I'm saying. So the expectation, I'm not, bruh, that's crazy. I don't know.
Because when I was doing that walk, again, like on Arkansas, somewhere like between like that little block and like 14th and like Decatur uptown, I was like, man, I wonder who went straight through. Up there, it's like you got either Powell Elementary or what was once West. It's now John Lewis.
Yeah, John Lewis.
So imagine you go through Powell, McFarland, and Roosevelt in that period. You woke up, you was 5, and your parents was like, you going to this neighborhood school. We ain't taking no provisions beyond that.
Right.
Like, what's the likelihood, Or any path, 3 schools, elementary, junior high, high school, where it's just neighborhood, like in a conventional neighborhood, not some elite part of the city, but like a regular.
That's what I'm saying. Even for out of bounds. Because, like, I'm going to put it like this. I get, right? Like you were saying, your mother, when you got on when you went to Paul and they put you because of your address, they say you supposed to go to Tech, and Mama Grand like, shit, he ain't going there, he going to Coolidge. But it ain't like Coolidge was holding arms or bullets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Coolidge was the best. I guess
it probably was the best option, but it wasn't.
It ain't Mayberry going to Coolidge.
That's that too.
In our time, I mean today too, but you hear what I'm saying? That's my thing. Like, even that's what I was saying about the naming the elementaries and the outer boundary. How good did you get in that time in this city if it was public at all? Not to sound like, if you went to Jefferson, I remember back when we was younger, like Jefferson,
Deal,
Francis,
Deal,
were
Hine
like
a little bit.
Oh yeah, Hine, you just gotta, getting it going to and fro might have been a little, but Hine was a great middle school. They was putting out, just, what I'm saying? But I think all them schools, even within that, still had that element because that element was so present. I think that's what I'm saying. But that element was so present in this city that it was very hard to escape. That's why I give so much like kudos to those of us in that age bracket that are still here, that's thriving, those of us that avoided the criminal justice system, those of us that marry anybody, those of us that are raising our kids, because to me, it was that difficult. It wasn't just a walk straight. It was some incredibly talented, brilliant people that this joint swallowed. And for so many people that wasn't here then, it's definitely hard for them to process. So I feel like a question like that you're posing really puts it really shows that. it shows like it's a multitude of reasons probably why those numbers are probably low, right? But I think it's a true representation of how difficult it was to even make it to the point where you could like start a family and sustain a family.
I'm gonna read this comment real quick. Shout out to Tahara. She left this comment on my page. Basically,
Tahara.
Yep. She left a comment. She was letting me know that she knows 5 couples, right? Our age, married, DCPS.
To her as well, 43, 44?
Yeah, she's like 42.
All right,
yeah.
Okay, she know 5 couples.
She know 5.
Okay.
Everybody that's on the 40 to 44, they giving me the higher. No, I say it's the reverse. Everybody like 45 to 50 is giving me more. Nobody 40 to 42 is giving me more than 5. To her, gave me the most, I think, out of that. There was one other girl, Jerry, that I know, real good friend of mine. She went to Banneker, all right?
They don't count.
So let's go there.
That's the best of the best. Though. That's like God. You almost can put them into a, let's get into the point though. Right?
So let's go there. We were all together the other night, and I posed the question, and she went to Facebook, and like I said, she went to Banneker. She pulled out her phone. She started showing me couples, and I'm like, Jerry, that couple right there don't look like they ever had no 5 wings and fries.
Yeah, they did.
She started naming international couples. I'm like, all right, you got it. She probably had the most legit couples, but again, a lot of Banneker couples, and it's a different environment.
Wilson. I mean, I would like to
school without walls. That's the creme de la creme, that right there.
I mean, I think that's getting at the point too. Like a lot of them students, I just say nobody from tough situations went to Banneker. Of course, we not.
Yeah, of course that happened. Yeah.
Or Walls, or Duke Ellison.
Even if you came from a tough environment at home, what I was saying earlier was that when you get into the school itself, the culture there can also permeate you.
And you around the likelihood that you around other people that come from stability. That's helpful.
It's helpful.
It's helpful. But go ahead.
Let me read Tahara's comment, though. So she tells me she has 5, and then she says, my opinion, DC dudes get tired of the air us DC women can depict. They've grown up with women like us and decide they want something different from what they've been around. So it's almost like what I'm used to is now repellent.
Them dudes ain't marrying nobody. We not. I mean, I don't look at it like that.
Yeah.
Them dudes that went to they ain't like they be married. I mean, I get her point, and I'm not saying but nah, it don't. I don't think that happens. Yeah. Because one of the things also I think and now I probably got a limited view on this, and I'm gonna say that, right, but I think what people underestimate when you start talking about marriage or strong relationships, or the lack thereof, a lot of times that's always based on the men drive that, right? Like people aren't getting married because of men, and yeah, we obviously step out on our relationships probably more, get caught more, whatever that situation is, right? I ain't get no pushback from you on that. But what I'm getting at in the context of this conversation, you have young men and young women we talking about that grew up in the same environments, same neighborhoods, right? Like I ain't grow up with girls talking about they trying to get married. You know what I'm saying? Especially those that we got caught up in, the world around us type of thing. That's just not what it was. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes was into certain girls, might would have married him, but he wasn't getting enough money for her. Yeah. I mean, we gon' you understand what I'm trying to say? And then you want to come back and marry me after you done been around the world. You know what I'm saying? And it happens like that too. And again, I think her point is well taken, but I feel like just the culture of getting married for the people we talking about, it just wasn't thinking, men or women.
To add on to her comment, to kind of stay there for a minute, right? So what she's alluding to is that the guys have seen enough of the girls that they've gone to school with for 12 plus years. They want something different. But you ain't
say marry nobody from your school.
Yeah, that too. Right. But I think
the likelihood you probably
yeah, but you still at the same bus stations and all that. Yeah, Brooklyn, how popular that was. That was a hub for a lot of different schools. You still would have encountered other schools, right? The Go-Go's, right? So, but to her point, or to add to the comment, she's stating that, you know, people are tired of the same people they see all the time, right? But
that's valid.
When you graduate high school, let's say you don't go to college. Let's say you go to all neighborhood schools and you go out and you get a job, Verizon, Department of Labor, wherever you end up at, right? Now you go out after work and you go to a bar, whatever the case may be. You left an environment in school where there were hundreds of people every day in your age bracket. You go to a bar, it might be 3 or 4 options in that bar that night that you have an interest in. Whereas in the early 90s, if you were at Coolidge, Wilson, Dunbar, it might have been up to 900 people in the building.
Right.
600 of which were probably girls. So if you're a guy and you're 15, between 14 and 17, you got like 400 or 500 options, right? Versus graduating and you said, I'm not picking nobody I ever went to school with. Now you go down to, like, if I go out once a week, I might see 20 women. So my point is that if we just talking merely numbers, you lower your chances if you don't select from the larger pool that is school. That was also one of my reasons why I was talking about the marriage thing with DCPS, because
so you think that connection would have had probably the likelihood is that you would have bumped into that person during school, or at least met the person while you were in school.
Yeah, when life start lifing and you working, you're not encountering as many people as you do when you in school.
Right.
The pool gets smaller.
But what about like in the, you know, like in the go-go, in a club or something, and you meet somebody and, you know, they went to Anna, you went to Coolidge, or, you know what I'm saying? Or you went to Dunbar, they went to Easton. You know, that kind of thing. But I still don't.
It's kind of iffy because in that 18 to 22 bracket, some of the kids are going to college. So you might be going to see back every Tuesday, but it's a bunch of kids that's gone for like 9 months until school is out. So your pool is still smaller in the go-go when it's cold outside. Yeah. Because they on somebody's campus.
That's true.
It cuts into that. Like, just from a raw numbers perspective, if we talking about the opportunity to create something real serious with somebody, the pool decreases when you leave from an environment where every day you're around 900 people.
All right, let me ask you another question on that then. But for people that get married, particularly, again, and we talking about in our age group, what age do you think they met at? I mean, because you understand what I'm saying? Because I wonder if, you know what I mean? Because if, you know, I wonder if them people may have known each other when they were high school age.
Yeah.
But I wonder what age bracket do people really get serious and get married?
So I know a couple of different examples, right? So when I started thinking about the couples that I know that are DCPS graduates, right, I started kind of putting my tally together.
How many did you have?
All right, so without any help from anybody else?
Yeah.
All right, so I got to just name them, Jenny and Eric.
Oh, I know them, but I just didn't know that.
Yeah, you ain't
okay,
know,
so I'm going to put them on my, okay.
Yeah, sometimes you just may not know, but I know that, right? They reconnected later, from my understanding. They knew each other then, but they reconnected later. Kenyon and Princess.
Oh shit, I know them too.
Yeah, which they knew each other, but then
I think I thought about. Okay, but they relationship, they met young, but their relationship started when they're a little older.
They met young. They was together kind of young.
Okay.
So a little different than Jenny and them.
Okay.
His cousin Keith and his cousin Keith and his wife Toya, she went to Coolidge with me, so I remember her from school.
Okay.
This next couple, this is no lie. Peanut and Jermaine. His real name is Terrence, but we call him Peanut. They from like 12th and Hamlin, both of them, right? Like literally across from like Brooklyn's finest, right?
Right.
Tone, they've been together since they was like 11 years old.
Wow.
Jermaine, my age, Peanut a year older than me, so like 11 and 12 respectively. I remember when they started going together in Brooklyn. They've been married since they were adults.
Yeah.
They probably got like 6, 7 kids, 8 kids. They've been together.
That's a DC love story for real.
30 plus years
That's incredible.
on the books. I remember when they started going together in Brookland Elementary. So them, my man Antoine and his wife Gwen from Coolidge, my man Alan and his wife from Coolidge. So I got to probably like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think to answer your question though, I don't know if there's like a sweet spot where it's either early or it's later where they meet. But I still think even if they meet later, like even like in the age of Facebook where you got all these people that you really don't know them in person, but y'all just friends online. Y'all went to school, y'all never said 2 words to each other.
Right.
Y'all run into each other. If you went to Coolidge, Tacoma Station, Coolidge Homecoming, little after thing up there or whatever, or in the tailgate on 3rd Street, you talking to that person for the first time, there's still a foundation there.
Right.
We got a common experience. We walked the same halls for like 4 years. We got the same teachers. We got a lot of common friends. We not building it from scratch.
Sure.
There's something there, right?
Sure.
So even if you meet them later on, like, I think there's something about some commonality or connection that you have.
Yeah,
versus
based on
like
that high school
period. Based on that. You know what I mean?
I was just wondering though, like if that's the, you know, if meeting or being together since high school versus just meeting, you know, during because we went to the same high school, or does it happen like after? I just either way, I don't see a lot of that. I just don't, bro. And it's I don't know what that, you know. I take it to say that I know that what it probably speaks to is, again, is like the shift in what happened in this city during that period. Seriously, man. Like seriously. I mean, we would have to ask, like, you know, is that 50 to 60 age group is do you see a higher rep? But I know we would.
I think it is.
I know we would.
I think it is. I think it's a higher.
And definitely that's 60 to 70.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was more cultural than but when I think about it though, aside from just the, you know, I think, you know, for the show and what we always talk about though, I think that is very telling in like a lot of what we saw or what we see in community today, particularly around our families. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta read this comment. Shout out to Big B, man. He left a comment. He said, "I graduated in the feds, but my woman got a master's degree."
Yeah. Shout out.
I told B, I said that count. I'm gonna let that count.
Nah,
you got,
for sure.
You got this on the feds.
Lot of good men, man. You know. They went to DCPS, then they, you know, they did they
studied abroad.
Studied abroad, yeah.
Studied abroad.
They studied abroad, man. You know what I'm saying? Respect to the men, man. You know what I'm saying? They studied abroad, but but I think that is but that's still to the point. Cause I like when I brought up somebody, he was like, but did he graduate? And that's the thing. That's part of it.
So one of my homies went to McKinley for 3 years and then went to Blair the last year. Right,
Damn, that's elite.
Yeah, it was elite, right? So we was talking the other night because he was at the same space that my other friends were at, and we were having this conversation. Yeah. He like, and my wife graduated from Tech. He's like, and I forgot he went to Blair. I thought he came out of Tech.
Yeah, he thought he came out of Tech.
And it's just like, again, parents were making decisions.
Yeah.
And those decisions were not in line with like.
But look what you just said. You said, I know you was just generalizing, but you said in a school of 900 people, 600 was girls. Yeah. That alone, if so, that means 300 guys, 600 girls. Even if every man got married, that's gonna be
still gonna be, yeah.
That's you know, and I think that is the reality of, but with that also the other impact that has on the men, like I think to Tahir's point too, a man like, yo, I got my pick.
You got your pick, yeah.
What I look like, I got my pick. It's not a lot of me. You know what I'm saying? And in that time, dog, again, I don't mean to be redundant, but from that perspective, bro, you in that time, bro, if you just stayed out here, You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We always be talking about, like, you talking about the feds, but bro, you know how many of my men went to Cedar Knoll and Oak Hill?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now what we know is like YSC and well, YSC, that was the receiving home when we were younger. But you had Cedar Knoll and Oak Hill, which is now New Beginnings, the group homes. Man, all my men was in. Nobody wasn't just like going. You know what I'm saying? We grew up in a time too where like some people didn't even go to high school.
They didn't go.
I be talking to people now, they don't. That is like, what do you mean? I'm like, what you mean? What I mean? Some people did not make it out of junior high.
Yeah, that was like, I think in those days it was much more normal. It was like, not to make light of it, but to maybe try to make it clear for some people. It was kind of like high school players, like, am I gonna go to college or the NBA?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm going straight to the streets.
Yeah, no
I ain't
question.
even. Yeah, it was kind of like that.
And typically, all what I'm saying is, you know, most of them they're not in marriage. They're not doing
Right.
that person that drop out in the 8th grade. People do rebound. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying by the numbers. If a dude just go to Turl, he don't even make it to Dunbar. You know what I'm saying? The likelihood that he gonna get married, start a family, grow a family, that's just the stakes not high.
Yeah.
Even that, that a woman might see him as somebody she wants to marry.
That she can even trust to partner with.
Yeah, that the chance is slim. I ain't gonna say slim to none, but they slim. And again, when we can describe that in like a one-off situation, but we know in that time that wasn't a one-off situation. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's all I'm getting at. Like that is like, man. I think when we be unpacking stuff on this show that I think people tend not to like think about, but when they do think about it, especially those that identify with that came up in the same time, it make you say, damn, that's true.
Let me ask you this. We've been talking about different eras and phases, right? So let's talk about the phase we in right now. Yeah. I got a daughter, you got 2 daughters. Like, how active do you think you're going to be in, like, them potentially creating families and selection and all that?
Incredible. As much as I can be. I just hope they don't fall on one of these wild young. I just hope I be praying to God. For real. Because, you know, hey, listen, man. What's that, Joe? Your seed. Marry my seed. Marry. For real, man, I don't want to do like no arranged marriage type
I'm into
stuff.
that. I'm just going to be real.
Bro, I mean,
let's just stop real quick. I'm into that. You just got to kind of
like introduce them, man. I'll be like, yeah, man.
I'm trying to cut a deal.
Like, for real. Get the diary and everything. What you call it? The diary when you get the father, the bride. You know, you're broke, but yeah, you know what I mean? Huh? You know what I'm saying? Or oh no, do we receive it? Either way, I ain't selling off my daughter, but I'm keeping it real. I want to. Listen, home, me and they mother ain't working all hard and doing all this and that for, you know, when we die, we leave our shit to them and they with some bum dude, bro. I'm nah. You know, you done heard me say that when we be teaching the class at Pathways. Yeah. Why I care about their success? Because I'm not leaving my shit to your son, bro. Yeah, you got to be your best so your son can, because my daughter might meet your son. I really see it that way in the work we doing.
I don't think that.
Playing like that.
I don't know that our generation of parents really was thinking about it that deeply. And I think this generation of parents, we got a little more bandwidth or capacity because we got more upward mobility with our careers and like more flex time, and we're more social. We outside a little more than our parents may have been at our age. I think that we're thinking about it more. We got the capacity to think about it more. Because I think about that like a lot.
Yeah, me too.
A lot.
I often, and I really be thinking, I be saying like in this real, like, who they gonna marry?
Oh yeah, I think about that.
Because you looking around, be seeing all this going on, and I be like, who they gonna marry, man? You know what I mean? When you know, because like I said, with the work we do, and I asked that question, I was like, how many of y'all got kids 12 and under? You know what I'm saying? And most of them be like, you know what I'm saying? And I go right there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, I'm going to do something to your son, man. You come in my house with them, they be laughing. Like, what you mean? I be like, nah, because for real, I need you to be your best so you pour into him. Because I know but the reality of it is this, as much as we going to want to, ultimately, Holmes,
you just can't.
They going to make that decision, bro.
That's a little boy, man. His mom calls Molly her daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
She been calling her
that. She intentional with it,
huh?
Yeah, man, you know. But like I said, man, ultimately it becomes their decision. You know, I often think about also like, you know, from my lens, like, you know, when you, for the women that I dealt with, that fathers was alive or around, you know what I mean, that I met, and you know, I've always had good relationships with, you know, the women that I dealt with their father. I always felt like their fathers approved of, you know what I'm saying, the type of guy I was. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say I feel like hope my karma gonna be good. I want to be in that same position. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's gonna be before us, and you know, not too far off, man. You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, I think we got more capacity to think about that. And you can plan all you want, but you don't have really any control when it's all said and done. Yeah, but I think about, like, we started this conversation talking about Hampton Homecoming, and I think I've shared this with you offline before. So when I got to Hampton in '97, there were a lot of DC people there, and there's this one particular path to Hampton that was like real prominent. Kids who had gone to daycare together, Shepherd, Deal, Wilson, and Hampton. I can probably name easily 25, 30, if not 40 people that had that path. They're not all the same age, but they got down there between, let's say, 93 and like 99, that 7-year period where like at least 40 of them had gone through the same path. And I've had this conversation with a couple of them, like, you think that your parents weren't thinking about some of y'all getting together? And none of them got together.
Right.
The 40 people I'm talking about,
really,
none of them got together.
It probably was their intention, though.
Yeah, but the parents, they know each other's parents.
Jill and
all that. You telling me that you think that they weren't thinking about that? You know? And I don't think that a marital union is the end-all, be-all. It solves all problems. That's not at all what I'm saying with this conversation. But all of us talk so much about the fractures in our community, gentrification, losing the houses, generational wealth, and that is a part of building that. It's tied to that. Question.
I feel like it's foundational in that. And this is from somebody who, you know more than anybody. I wasn't never getting married.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But I was able to start through y'all, through you, through KJ, through Duck. And shout out to Duck too. Yeah. Duck just got married again. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him and his wife Siobhan. Yeah. Beautiful ceremony on Saturday, man.
I couldn't make it, but definitely, man.
It was beautiful, man. Shout out to the Stevensons, man.
You
feel me? Yeah. Man, Allah bless your union. But
the thespian.
Oh my God, he was in rare form. Oh. Shorty had on a Michael Jackson Smooth Criminal type tux. He thought he was
cutting up.
Oh my God, the New York accent came on. He was in red form. Now I'm so happy for Ducks. I mean, the sheer joy that was in that room. And then another thing, bro, you know, both his parents was there, bro. That was big. Yeah, you know, his parents home.
That's good. Yeah,
that was major. You know what I'm saying?
I forgot about that.
I think the first time his mom had just touched, if I'm not mistaken, I could be off. Maybe neither one of them was there. So now his mother and his father home, bro.
Incredible.
Yeah, man, God is good for real.
Yeah, incredible.
But damn, that threw me off. What was I saying before I brought up? Yeah, I wasn't getting married. I understand the power of that unit. Is what I'm saying now.
Damn,
I didn't understand it then, and particularly it's that the unit's impact on a child.
So to that point, my dad, he worked. He had a trash truck business for a while, but he also worked for DC Water. He worked shift work. He had 3 different shifts. He had like a 2 to 10 in the evenings, a 10 overnight to 7 a.m., and then like a 7 to 3 daytime shift. My house was different and it was 2 weeks at a time. So if he was
right,
whatever shift, it was a 2-week shift. When he had the 2-week shift where like he was leaving at like 9 at night and he wasn't home at night, it was a different house. It was a totally different house. It was different. It felt different when he was on that night shift.
Yeah, because it was different.
It's just
his presence. This is the part that, because it's become so normalized to not have that man in the house, that you know, and this is not, you know what I'm saying? I ain't had, my father was locked up. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? My life was different from before he went to jail, though. My life was different. Not just him making a whole lot of money. No, my life was different. The sense of safety and security and esteem and all that.
Let me ask you this. This is random. It just came to my mind right now. Yeah. What has been his observations of your marriage? Because he obviously missed 34 years. He didn't have that for himself.
I think for real, man, I watch, he expresses it as well, but he just enjoys seeing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He enjoys seeing, like, his son, his daughter-in-law, like, we run in their house. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he's benefited from that stability. Not that he needs us to, like, you know, but yeah, we've been able to take care of him too in ways to make sure he's straight is what I mean. Yeah, man, he can take care of himself, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. That unit, though.
And that continuity of that. So I know people that long for marriage because they didn't see it in their house.
Yeah.
I know people who don't want to do it because they didn't see it in their house. I know people who long for marriage because they saw it. I know people who don't want to do it because they saw it. So it's like 4 different options, right? For my parents were married for close to 60 years. They were like 2 weeks short of their 60th anniversary when my dad died, right? And I remember things that my dad said to me and like the example he set as a husband, right? How he respected his father-in-law, taught me how to respect my father-in-law, right? I remember when he was in the nursing home, I said something about like I gotta get my oil change in my car. He was like, nah, y'all car. That's not your car. That's you and your wife car. Her car is you and your wife car. He was dead serious. He was beefing about that. Yeah. He ain't like that.
Ain't no my.
You know what I mean? He ain't like that. And I'm just trying to, I couldn't even explain to him, nah, Dad, I'm just telling you this so I could differentiate which car I'm talking about. Because he got dementia.
Right.
Right? At this time. So it's like, but he was dead serious.
He knew that though. He called
like, nah, you don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, and I think, you know, I'm winging it, bro.
Right.
I'm square business winging it. But, you know, we make this joint work, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you know, somebody asked me the other day, like, did I have any marriage advice? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, create what works for you. Because my marriage advice ain't gonna work for you. You gotta figure out what works for you and your wife. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Jessica and I have been able to do. You know, and I think about my outline. We disagree all the time. Gets on my nerves, you know what I'm saying? But we don't be in that junk with a rack of arguing.
Yeah.
You know, when I was little, my mother and father argue all the time. You dig what I'm saying? Moan to me that joke, they be going hard. You hear me?
I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think my mother and father stopped arguing until probably about 50 years in.
Yeah,
They probably was like the last 10 they argue.
And then, you know, it'd be interesting to see. Like, I be thinking about that. I get mad. I be steaming mad with her, but and vice versa. I know she be mad at me, but you know, we don't really argue though. I might just not say nothing for like a day, but we, and, you know, and I be thinking about though, like, man, where that come from in my mind? I don't know. I don't know why I don't be trying to, first of all, obviously, primary reason is about the girls. I don't never want them to see me, and maybe if I was a girl, my parents might would've, you know, I think that does, people think differently around girls and boys, I think. You know what I'm saying? But I be like, nah, I definitely don't want to argue in front of them. You know, to make, you know, we ain't doing the movie thing, going in the room and arguing either, but it's just like, you know, they make me say, it's because I'm trying to model my point, which I'm trying to model what I want them to say, okay, that's how a man supposed to treat a woman, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? Because I know that they watching, they listening. You understand what I'm saying? So that's important to me, because I be beefing sometimes.
I'm laughing because Molly got this thing now where, like, she know what she doing. But if Valerie make a mistake or do something or forget something, she'll say, oh, it's okay, Mommy, it's an accident.
Yeah.
But then she'll look at Valerie when I do something that was on purpose.
Yeah.
she's like, I don't get no,
you ain't no grace.
Don't get no grace.
But that's, I think, for our little girls, bro, that's how it is. And it's like, and there has been times when And you know, my kids too, like they ain't gonna say fussing or arguing, they say fighting. Daddy, were you and mommy fighting? I don't even like that word, because to me fighting means physical.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a new age thing, right? They helping me grow. I be like, what? I be like, no, me and your mother ain't never, what you mean fighting? Yeah. No, you guys had disagreement. Y'all were fighting. Y'all, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, we was. Right? Yeah. We know, we had a disagreement. But that put me on point, like, nah. And I told, don't be, we had a disagreement. We weren't fighting. Yeah. I don't fight your mom. You know what I'm saying? We always talking about, yeah, my parents were fighting. You know, that's that TV talk. No, we ain't doing that. I mean, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, but, CPS be at the door.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? But I do, you know, that's human though. Humans have disagreement. But I'm just saying that to say, I think I'm figuring it out as we go. You know what I'm saying? We 8 years in. You know what I'm saying? We got a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. You know, we've been together basically 12 years. You know what I'm saying? So we figuring it out, young. And but I know that I'm better because of that unit. I'm stronger because of that unit. I'm able to, you know, not only take care of our girls, you know, everything that is involved with the receiving of my dad since he been home. Like my wife did every step of the way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so much that even what I do in the community, a lot of stuff, I couldn't do it without her. And I damn sure couldn't do it as well. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that part of, and then that part of being married though is what I'm saying is it's like, it's that's not talked about enough, I feel, in terms of what that partnership means to you. You know what I'm saying? As a person, you know, that's what I'm saying to your point about that stability that grows out when you start talking about the wealth and everything else about your life. To me, yeah, that's why I'm saying I feel like, you know, can be the foundation of that.
And going back to the original reason why I posed the question online and I've been posing it to people in person, I think about my neighborhood where I grew up, and we got families in my neighborhood who they may have gotten married, didn't stay married, but they had kids, right? Maybe 1 or 2 marriages that came out of it, maybe. But the continuity of the community is stronger, or it was stronger when we all were living in that neighborhood, because it was family. Across the street, you could go in their house and go, right? So now when I go on that block and I go see my mom, like, you don't really be knowing everybody on the block.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, all that around Hanover too, all of us, like me, I'm a product of a 2 Hanover people. I mean, they wasn't married. All Mike Wilson, he a product of 2 Hanover people. You know what I'm saying? All of Kim, Al, you know, all of us, a lot of us. I'll be explaining to you, all of them. They didn't get married, but they had kids together.
That ain't even happening.
Which made us like a stronger block. Not
that ain't
even
happening no more.
You should, you know what you should do, Osai? You should actually do like a like have an event.
You in my head.
Okay.
I already was thinking like,
do that, you know?
I was thinking about the DAP project, and I was like, I should talk to them about, I would love to do like a arts and entertainment sort of like sponsored event and talk to the couples.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Because I think, I just wonder if more people created synergy around like long-term commitments and relationships, what our neighborhoods would be like now.
Yeah.
What they would have looked like.
And the ones that did, that's one of the things when you started talking, we talk all that gentrification stuff and all that. People missed it. That's what you took that left. So even for not just gentrification, even if people move on purpose. So I don't want to. I'm saying if black flight is a thing, that we lost a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We lost a lot of that.
And I think sometimes, like sometimes people are turned off by the selections they have, and they want to go elsewhere and find it. But like you end up in this whirlwind where you never make the connection because the right people might have been in the first selection pool, right? Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you grow up in the same neighborhood, you go to the same schools, you go to the same places. Yeah, it's like, it feels like it's redundant. It feels like I know you too well, but at the same time, y'all probably got the same values.
Yeah.
And contrary to what people believe, I don't think money breaks up marriages. I think people's value systems break up marriages because we could both be rich. But if I want to do my thing with the money this way and you want to do it that way, it ain't a money problem. We got money. It's just we don't like to do it the same way.
Right. Yeah.
So I think a lot of times it's values, and I think when you find somebody that comes from the same culture and you got the same value system, it makes it a little easier for that bond to sustain.
Yeah. That's what we talking about, longevity.
Longevity.
Oh, Shawty's a counselor. I hear you, dog.
Michael Bays.
Yeah, man. He definitely give you Bays and Steve Harvey on, but no, for real, I think that we should do that, bro.
Yeah.
Looking down as we.
Yeah, it's we, yeah. So shout out to PG too. He said this on the comments. He was like, I can't name 20. Because that was the other thing I said in the comment. Like, somebody named 20 couples that fit that criteria, right? So that was the baseline. Can you name 20? He was like, yeah, we can all come together and put the 20 together.
Yeah, that about to say we have to.
So I'm really thinking about reaching out to everybody in the comments like, man, send me the names.
Yeah, I think that'd be dope, man.
I would love to just do something.
It'd be hard. And to celebrate them too.
So, yeah, that
DC
too.
love story.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. We met at McPherson Square.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Like, for real. Yeah, on a train or something.
Fort Todd.
Yeah. And I think it's a historical piece to that too.
Yeah.
Documenting that. You know what I mean? Yeah, where y'all see you already you on it. That'll be fly. Yeah. Get that joint taped or, filmed or something.
Get some photos, like a little headshots of the couples.
Yeah. And they might need that to remind them, man, why they embarked on this journey together. We all be needing that. Yeah. When you be feeling like, oh, we done went as far as we gonna go.
Yeah. Contract up.
Yeah,
he re-upping this thing, man. Free agent.
That's it. I'm outside. Now then you think back to why you started. Yeah. That could be a, it's always like a grounding situation. You know what I mean? And I met Jess October 21st, like so last week. Well, yeah, this past whatever that was, Wednesday. I met her 2011. Yeah, 2011. Kennedy Rexon at the Co-Drive. Operation Keep DC Warm, man.
Keep DC warm, man. And now you got something warm next to you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Telling you. But nah, for real. That was,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I did. And shout out everybody out there, chime in, you know what I'm saying? Get in the comments about, you know what I mean? If y'all know any couples, when y'all watch this, put the couple's name, you know what I'm saying? Tell them to hit up Silas on his gram or Facebook.
Or the YouTube page and DC Public Schools. It could be Street Academy if you came out.
Yeah, facts. Ain't no question.
It could be Street Academy. Yeah. You got your GD over the jail.
All that.
That count. That count.
All that count, right?
All that count, man. All that
Street
count.
Academy.
Street Academy, all that,
What was the options? Shout out to everybody that went the options.
Oh, man, you went the options,
some of y'all get these jokes, and we know y'all really ain't, man. Y'all come out our era, man.
DC.
Yeah, you ain't from DC, and that's all right.
Yeah. You know what my man said to me the other day? He sent me a DM. We was laughing about something DC-wise. And he was like, man, I forgot why he DM'd me about whatever it is we were talking about. But we were talking about like some ways in which you would know somebody from DC. He was like, man, you don't forget 500C Street.
500C. If you ain't go down there, DOES was down 500C.
Street, you ain't from
summer
DC.
Job. You in our era. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of little things I be like, or little jokes. People, if you don't get, I know.
When we were at Hampton, we had the virtual GM. It's now like fantasy basketball now, right? It's called Virtual GM. NBA.com had this joint. You pick teams every night and compete or whatever. And the password for our league was 500C Street. And if you ain't get that, we knew you wasn't really from DC.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah.
We might need to do that too. A DC trivia joke.
Yeah, that options joke just took me out.
Options.
You with the options.
My man, if you ain't had my men wasn't in nothing regular. Everything was alternative, man. Street Academy, options, all that.
It was another one too, though. Options.
Yeah.
It was another one. I can't think
of
it. Yeah. That's real DC.
Yeah, that's real DC.
What if you got an options couple?
Yeah,
married couple with options.
I doubt it, though.
Street Academy couple.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I doubt it.
You doubt it. I ain't counting them out.
I'm gonna
find me a Street Academy couple.
They probably do. They probably met at Street Academy. They met when they came home.
What you mean, like?
You know what I'm saying?
It might be common law.
Yeah, no. Either that or when one came home from Lewisburg, other came from Alderson. They met Project Empowerment. Probably was in my class and got married. We got some of them too. Yeah. Some of the women out early, you know, they went to Danbury or Alderson. Yeah, they went to Coleman. They went to the Feds too. I'm telling you, it get deep.
Hey, man.
I love mine. I love my people.
I love
Slim.
DC,
I
man.
love it. It's nothing like it. I love everything about us, Slim. I love everything about us, and I love the opportunity to discuss, like, you know, some of the things that how we got here and how we gonna continue to empower our people homes. You know what I'm saying?
No, that options joke, that was a gut punch right there. You just threw me off. Options joke.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But nah, I mean, the basis of this conversation really for folks watching is to really get us to think about how we got to where we are, and more importantly, how to be aware around how we can rebuild and sustain. Yeah. And, you know, by no means are we telling you go out and just pick anybody right now and go get married. But at the same time, like, I think
HD with you, don't do that. It gotta
be more than that, right?
For sure.
But it's really about where do we go from here? How do we rebuild? How do we salvage whatever we can for our people that love the city the way you and I do? Yeah. So again, like another riveting conversation.
No question.
On Heart of the City. For those of y'all that are watching for the first time, man, please come back and check us out. Subscribe to the page, like the page, leave some comments. We definitely read the comments. And like he said, go to my social media page. There's a lot of comments on this topic there. And we're going to have to try to pull some sort of event together now.
No doubt about
I think we're on the hook for that now.
It's a fact.
So thank y'all as always, man. We'll see y'all the next time.
Peace and love.
Peace.